Righty. What is going on, team? Um, just want to give my trade recap for tonight. Today is Wednesday, September 17th, and it is 10:30 p.m. And I just wanted to go over the two trades I took today, both on GU, EU. Um, the only kind of thing I saw was the fact that we did have to break the structure, but again, the only 1 hour POI I did have was this order block and price never came into it. So with that, which bring me on to GU. So GU, we so the first trade I took was around 8ish. So after we have that displacement down, we get a push up again. So I'm like, okay, cool. Price is heading to the hourly POI, and sorry. And around 9ish, I wanted to see if we had that closure above these highs, these hourly highs, because now order flow would have shifted bullish. Because you see how we made a high, we made a low, made a high, made a low, we made a high, and we broke structure. So market structure shift there. So order flow was currently bearish. So I was just looking for some type of confluence that kind of tells me like, hey, sellers are ready to take control here. Which at this point we had, um, at this point we didn't really, we did have this big push down invalidating this fair value gap here and this fair value gap here. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now we've got bearish intent, right? We've got bearish intent with this fair value gap being taken out, and this fair value gap being taken out and closed below. So ideally, I was just looking for a retrace to continue on the move to take out these lows. But one thing I was kind of like, oh fuck, I wish we'd taken out these highs first before we just like we sort of displaced. But again, like being in this 1 hour order block, ideally price shouldn't need to um price shouldn't need to take out these hourly highs. Um and a couple seconds before we made that hourly candle, we did close inside this area, as I'll show you on would have been this candle here. We did close inside this area here, this order block here. And we did not close above these highs, making it a market structure shift. So the plan was to take sales to take out these lows, continue on the trend. But overall, we are bullish, but we were still in a premium to go long from these lows to these highs. Oh, actually. Oh yeah, we just touched equilibrium. Interesting. But ideally, I don't really see anything here, as none of these is classified as an order block. It's just all been mitigated. This is the discount area, so that doesn't really matter. The only thing I thought about when if I wanted to go long was to take out these lows, hit this fair value gap to continue up higher. So that's why I still went short in a bullish trend, as we were in a discount. We barely touched equilibrium, but again, don't really classify this as an order block, because if I do this, right, price has already used it to push price higher again. So, to me, that isn't a valid order block. To me, that is a used order block. So the only thing that was kind of left was this order block here, these fair value gap, these lows, and that would have been confirmation for me to go long. But at the moment, I was going short, and as I said, we had that displacement down, taking out this fair value gap, and closing below. But again, um, I was really like, okay, cool. If we break this level, I'm getting out of a trade because we still haven't had that market structure shift yet. When price came up again into this fair value gap, or this fair value gap here, and also being in this inversion, I wanted to see if this level would hold. Mainly this fair value gap because this fair value gap was created on the move down. So I'm like, okay, yeah, was created on the move down. So with that being said, I did take a trade off this being um, this being inverted as we had some pushes up. Again, no, I was looking for an inversion, so we didn't really. As soon as price tapped into this big inversion 5-minute gap here, I was looking for an inverse to go short, but again, we didn't kind of close below any bullish fair value gaps. So I was just waiting for a bullish fair value gap to form in which price will disrespect it. I did not enter on this candle, but a couple seconds before this candle closed, so around here somewhere within this candle being printed. And what we did get was a huge push up again, and I was like, okay, cool. We got that confirmation. Now I'm looking on the 5 minute to see whether this 5 minute fair value gap holds, right? Which we were holding at the start. Sellers were defending this area for sure. Sellers were definitely defending this area, and once sellers defended this area and we had that candle down, I was like, okay, cool. We should displace from here on, but we did not. We kept retesting these fair value gaps, retesting these fair value gaps, and we had this huge push up. And my stops were above this high that was put in before a couple seconds before market shut down again. As you know, that could be a 1 minute sweep here. Yeah, 1 minute sweep. So technically, I did put my stops above a valid area just because we did get that sweep of these 1 minute highs and having that big crash down and validating 5 minute gaps. So and once, but I did tell myself that hey, if we the only way I will get out this trade, just because we are in an hourly POI to go short. We have bearish intent, which these 5 minute gaps were broken through. All right, we did get an inversion fair value gap here, but again, price shot straight through it, which led me to believe that price is obviously chasing this fair value gap here and this inversion up here. As when you get a big push up into a POI, it's obviously chasing for something, which in this case was this fair value gap. Unfortunately, we weren't able to displace from it. As you can see, we kind of chopped around here. And we did chop around here. And it was, I would say, with this candle kind of convinced me that, because we engulf this candle here, that we could continue on to take out these lows. But again, we didn't really get that follow through as what I'm always talking about. And I didn't mark where I took myself out the trade. I manual closed it just because there was no protection anymore, right? There was no protection from there was no protection other than us being in this inversion fair value gap and this fair value gap here. Again, I did follow my plan here, so there's nothing much I can say. I know this works out majority of the time, but I was having a look on where price pushed up from, because I did think that we got that push from us maybe touching equilibrium, but other than that, the only thing I saw was the fact that we the fact that if I wanted to go long, I'd want to see these lows taken out as well as this fair value gap here. But again, I was trading with order flow, current price order flow, with us being in a fair value gap. No, sorry, in 1 hour order block, as well as we're getting that displacement. But again, I will go on to my second trade now, which is on the same as GU. So I'll just get rid of all the stuff so you guys aren't confused. So ideally, like I talked about before, I didn't want these highs to get taken out before we displaced, but we did get that displacement after we took out those highs. And keeping in mind that we did not close above these highs on the 1 hour, and we got strong displacement. We got a strong displacement back down, and I wanted to see this fair value gap being broken, which, oh no, sorry, let me zoom in. I wanted this fair value gap here to be broken, which turned into an inversion. And on the way down, we did create this fair value gap. So I'm like, okay, cool. If price closed like this on the 1 hour, we're pretty far off. When price was down here, we're very far from closing above these highs. So once 10 o'clock hit, which is this pink candle here, I wanted to see a reaction from this fair value gap into this fair value gap, because ideally this is a 1 hour POI. We haven't closed above, and therefore it makes this a weak low. I'll circle it for you guys. It makes this a weak low because again we're playing with the 1 hour current structure, and we did not close above on the 1 hour. Therefore, making this a valid trade that I could take. So again, we react off this bullish fair value gap. Remember that price already inversed this first fair value gap here. Price came to this fair value gap, and we got pushes back up to this fair value gap. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm looking for a bearish intent now that we are in this 5-minute inversion fair value gap, which is here, this top box here, and we're also in this 5-minute fair value gap that was created on the move down from that liquidity sweep, and also invalidating this 5-minute bullish gap here that turned it into an inversion. So we get some pushes up, and we get this huge candle up. I'm like, okay, cool. A fair value gap was created, so it would be really nice for price to disrespect this area as it shows bearish intent, right? Because when we get a huge push up like this, confirmation would be that, ideally, if we wanted to go further up and even take out these highs once again, price should react off this 1-minute gap or this 1-minute zone here, which is what we got. Is again, I was waiting for a candle to close below. So not this candle here. We wicked through it, but I drew out a line for you guys that I did enter on this candle closing here. And with that, I was targeting again these weak lows just because we had the sweep of these highs. Now it's extra confirmation as we didn't close above on the 1 hour, and we invalidated 5-minute gaps now. So not only are we still playing within this 1 hour order block and the 1 hour order flow, we also took out the highs and didn't close above. A liquidity sweep didn't close above. Therefore, I was willing to enter in again. If price closed above this area and shot back down, that I just would have closed the charts for the day. But I did see that, after that first entry and I got out after we had that close above the fair value gap, that I was happy with taking another trade as price was heading up to take out these highs, take out these hourly highs. And once we got the displacement and nice retracement, invalidating 1-minute fair value gap, I was looking to go short again, but and my take profit again was these hourly lows. But we did get that nice push down, that nice displacement. But again, I did put my stops here at BE, just because this is kind of a liquidity spot after price sweeps high time frame liquidity. It likes to take out internal before continuing up higher if that's what price wants to do. Because what I've seen is that, or what I've noticed is that, when price is bullish, price might make some moves down, but to take out internal liquidity before continuing up the trend again, or the major trend, which in this case is bullish. But if we're really bearish, we should have closed below here. But again, I was already at BE by the time price hit this area. I did not close out the trade down here just because price I did want this fair value gap to hold. And the fair value gap, I am talking about this one here, this big one here. As you can see, we made some pushes up from it. We did not get any bearish intent from it at all, so I was happy at going out at break even, just because this was already a risk-free trade, as my stops would have been too high if I took a trade from here. But since this was the gap I took the trade from, if price invalidates it, therefore we are continuing on the trend. So we did get that displacement. This fair value gap, the only protection I had was this fair value gap, as all other fair value gaps have been used. So ideally, ideally I wanted to tap in from this candle and to displace lower to take out London lows again. But unfortunately, we did not get that. We did get a push straight through, taking me out at break even. So ideally, I'm happy with the trade. I risk managed pretty well today, even though I did take a small loss. I would say that I did follow my plan, as I told you guys again that, hey, the only protection we kind of have is the fact that price is respecting this area, right? This fair value gap here. And if price doesn't respect this area, obviously this trade becomes invalidated, right? So I did get out at this candle close on the 5-minute. Taking out these highs, I'm just breaking it down for you guys again. Taking out these highs, these hourly highs once again, get that displacement, breaking through this gap. I wanted this gap to retest into this gap to continue on the trend to take out London lows. So this would have been a perfect kind of AMD model here, just because we did have that we had that move up, we had accumulation, manipulation, and then we had a distribution. But again, we didn't really follow through with the distribution as price came up again, invalidating this fair value gap here, as price could tap this area to go long again. So yeah, it is interesting. Price action day, definitely hard, for sure, hard to read, especially like when we had those entry models. Price didn't really follow through there. So but ideally, I'm happy with the results. I'm done with trading for today. I'm not taking a trade, but it does suck to see that we are getting that displacement now. But it is good to see that, hey, my market analysis is somewhat in the right direction, and I have a plan and I'm following it. So that to me is profitability. So we can only get better from here. And yeah. I will see you guys later. It will be good to see how this trade plays out. Whether we end up following through, or but I don't know what I see here. I mean, all I see is that we did have a order block kind of created, but again, like price, ideally, for me to have confidence in this trade, ideally this fair value gap should have held for sure. This fat chunky one here, this one should have held. That's for sure. I do think that price is chopping up now. But yeah, I'm happy with the results, the way I risk manage. As I told you guys, I'm following my plan. So Yeah, that's that. Uh, yeah. I mean, the market does whatever it wants to do. All you can do is kind of just risk manage once you're in a trade. So, again, happy with how things are going, and happy like I said, like once we closed above, I didn't take a full loss. Um, took a half loss here, and yeah. Um, Speaking of that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh man, that's crazy. This is a crazy thing. This is crazy to see. You play out. But again, that's me done for the today, and I will see you guys tomorrow.